Welcome back to another video on Doing It with Briggs. Today, we're talking about a subject that you've probably never heard of, especially if you're just thinking about starting a YouTube channel and you're just learning the ins and outs. This is a subject that is very important that you probably have no idea about. It's called Greenfield versus current affairs videos, or topical, or newsworthy. So, in the world of YouTube, you have to think, how are your videos going to perform? Do you want these videos to continue to pay you in the long term? That's called a greenfield video. Or do you want a big amount of views right in the beginning? Those are your two choices. Now, there's very successful channels that do news and current affair and topical subjects. These are subjects that are hot right now that people are searching for. So if you make a video about it, you're going to get a lot of views. I mean, once you start gathering some subscribers and stuff. And it's a good way to start your channel. But if you want to get paid in the long run, I think Greenfield is the way to go. That's how I view all my channels. Greenfield or nothing. I don't do topical stuff. It doesn't work for me. Now, topical and current affair type videos are usually things that are going on in the news, usually gossip, sports, newsworthy stuff, like we just had the events in New Orleans where the guy ran down a bunch of people. Now you could talk about that, or political stuff. That has a shelf life. So you can do these great videos about it, have your own, take on the subject, and people will watch it and you'll get a lot of views. But those views will probably only last 2 or 3 days, a week, maybe a month. Then after that, that video that you worked so hard on is now just dead in the water. And you won't get many views about that because let's think about something like Asheville, North Carolina. It was hit pretty hard by a hurricane some months back, right? And it was all over the news. Everyone was making videos about it. The news couldn't quit talking about it. And it was horrific. I feel bad for those people. But like everything in the news, we forgot about it. I mean, unless you're in North Carolina and you're dealing with it still, the people of Asheville, I have you my thoughts and prayers, but it's not in the news no more. Nobody's searching it. I mean, it's not something that matters. That's how humans are. We're worried about something major right now, but afterwards it falls, in with the mix of all the other stuff. So if you did videos on Asheville, North Carolina and the hurricane, I guarantee if you're getting, 3 or 4 views a day on it, it would be shocking. Maybe not that bad, but it's pretty low. Now, if you did a video on moving to North Carolina like I have, that video will continue to get views because people will always be looking for videos about moving to North Carolina. Matter of fact, when you have something like an event in North Carolina, like the hurricane, people will start looking at your old videos about North Carolina. Those are Greenfield videos that continue to pay you. I have videos that I made back in 2018 that still make me about $100 a month. Now, that's not a lot, but you got to remember, they made a bunch in the beginning. Maybe the first week they made 200-300 bucks, or maybe even more. They could have been $1,000, $1,500. Depends on the video. Now, let's say it made 300-400 bucks that first month. Okay. Well, it's made maybe $100 or somewhere in that area every month for the last 4 years. So it's paying me. It's continued paying me. I look at my channel as every video is like I planted an apple tree. Every single month, that tree produces apples, right? The way a topical or a current affairs channel their videos would work, it's like they plant a tree, they get a bunch of fruit off it that first month, and they chop it down and put another video there. So they really only have, a handful of videos that are making them money every single month. Now, granted, there are some huge channels where it's a little bit different, but for most of us, it's like they have 5 videos making them money every single month. Now, maybe 2 of them each month make a buttload of money or a buttload of views. But a Greenfield video, I've got hundreds. I've got over 1,000 videos, and they are all paying me anywhere from $5 a month to, if it's a current one, it's going to be making me over $500 a month, right? And so there's a big variance. Sometimes I have the ones that get really good that make me a lot more than that. We won't get into all my numbers, but you know, when you start building up a library of Greenfield videos, it's like just you sit there and let the money come in. Now, the thing about YouTube is even though I have these Greenfield videos, if I take a year off, my money is going to start dropping. Even those videos that were Greenfield, they'll get less and less views. Just it's how YouTube's algorithm works. But if you're running a topical or a news channel or something like that, and you take 2 months off, your money's getting close to zero every single month. So there's a strategy in how you want to do it. Now, the other problem I have with topical or non-Greenfield videos is you got to be on top of it. You got to make videos almost every single day. You got to be watching the news and seeing what's happening, and you got to make a new video. Now, if you do a history channel type video where you're talking about World War II, you're talking about the Civil War, those are also greenfield videos. They don't have to be about locations. You could be doing about music. There's a guy that has a great channel, and I can't think of it offhand, but he used to be a music producer, pretty big one too. And he has these videos where he talks about songs, how they were created, the history of them. It's amazing. I watch him all the time. He's making greenfield videos because he talked about the Police, the band The Police. Every little thing she does is magic. Did a whole 20-minute video on it, and it's been up about 9 months. And I was watching it, and I guarantee he's getting 1,000 views on that every single day from months ago. And I mean, I've watched it 3 times. It's amazing. So it doesn't just have to be like what I'm doing. You can come up with your own thing. But greenfield videos, you got to think. That's how you got to think. Are they going to be interested in it a month from now, 2 months from now, a year from now? That's how you should approach things if you're doing greenfield videos. Okay. Now, there's some, even CNN, Fox, all those guys, when they're talking about the news, they're getting a whole bunch of views while it's hot, right? Let's say something like the New Orleans guy. The guy ran over some people in New Orleans. Horrible situation. But in a month, nobody's going to care about that. Nobody's going to be watching about it until his trial comes up. Then maybe they'll get a little spark. But that video, CNN, Fox, or one of these other news, internet, YouTube people, whatever they're doing about it right now, that's a dead video a couple months from now. Now, this also works with sports. Like if you're doing sports scores and what's going on with, I don't know, the Detroit Lions, and you're talking about their season and stuff like it, nobody's going to care about that in a year. Nobody's going to care about that in 6 months. If you're talking about the upcoming baseball season, people are interested now. But once baseball season starts, that video is dead in the water. That's how I see it. Now, I'm not a fan of that. Like I said, I'm not a fan of topical, newsworthy, or current affairs because I like to keep getting paid. Now, I approach everything from a financial look. That's how I see things. First thing, is this profitable? Is it worth my time? Can I make money off it? That's how I look at my videos. And then I go, because I've already established this is what I do, and this is what my subject is because I love the subject. Now, once you get past all that, if I make this video, will it continue to pay me? So I don't do holiday videos that often because they're just dead right afterwards. I might get views here or there, but if I do a video about best place to see Christmas lights, sure, I'm going to get some views around December, but that's, 1 month every single year. And you're probably only going to see that half of December. The rest of the time, that video is dead and it's just bringing my channel down. Now, I say bringing your channel down because YouTube kind of watches. Now, there's no confirmed thing, but in my experience, if you have too many videos that are not producing in a row, they kind of back off on recommended you. Now, they say that's not a thing. I'm here to tell you it's a thing. I'm 99% sure that's what happens because if I have 3 or 4 videos that tank or they only get views for a few days, then nothing, I start seeing all my views go down. YouTube starts pulling back on recommendation. They're, this channel's not doing good. We're not going to recommend them to people until I have a big video, something that really grabs everyone's attention. Then I get out of the, YouTube doghouse or YouTube hole. So even though you're doing topical or you're doing Greenfield, you got to make sure those videos are getting hits. Now, that's rough with the everyday type videos. If you're doing topical stuff, you got to have good hitters almost every single day. If you get 3 days in a row where nothing's happening in the news or you can't think of a good video for whatever the subject you're on, you're going to pay for it. And the way you're going to pay for it is lack of views, which means lack of money. So when you're approaching your subject, if you want to do topical, great. If you want to do current affair, great. You want to do sports, great. But make sure you have some greenfield videos mixed in. Doesn't have to be 100% greenfield. But let's take we talked about the Detroit Lions, right? Having a great season. So let's say you're talking about their season. Every single week you talk about Sunday's game. Boom, boom, boom. But I would also mix in there things like the history of the Detroit Lions, the history of some of the players that are playing, because they'll be playing for a few years and people will be interested in them. They'll want to look up things about them. So you got to look at things strategically because you want to make money from your effort. Now, again, I always say money and all that. Well, if that's not your motivation, great. You do whatever you want. You get on there once a month and talk about the Detroit Lions. Don't make another video for 3 weeks. Talk about the Detroit Lions again. Get on there and talk about, whatever, Detroit Tigers baseball, whatever you want to do. If you're not interested in money and you just want to do this at a hobby, ignore almost everything I say and just make your videos and be happy because this is fun to do. And especially, it's fun when you see that people really react to your videos, whether that's through views or money. It's all up to you. But I'll tell you, views usually means money. They're one and the same. If you want more money, you just get more views. Figure out a way to get more views. In my opinion, you build a library of Greenfield videos and you're going to be making that money. That's all there is to it. I feel like I should say more on the subject, but I think I pretty much covered it. Yeah, I think that's about it. We'll see you tomorrow. Everybody have a great day. Be nice to each other.